All right. So another year has gone by. And
what happened to the year?
That means another year of us doing this podcast of us talking about games that we played and which ones we liked. And maybe one or two that we didn't like. That. So.
We're gonna be doing this till we're 90.
God. We might.
Till he's 90.
Till you're 90.
But yeah, there's a lot more people than we normally have for this call, so we might need to speed through our entries a little faster than normal, because I think we normally...
Fuck it, we're doing this till we're 90.
We're going to keep doing this until Amazon shuts down Twitch. We're going to keep doing this until Amazon shuts down Twitch because they don't think it's profitable anymore.
Then we're going to move to probably YouTube or something like that, but I don't know. Whatever the streaming platform of choice will be. But yeah, so just to quickly go over our things. Generally, for us, we don't necessarily make this a games that had to have come out in 2024. Just games that we played for the first time in 2024. Onto that with a usual honorable, dishonorable mention before we do number one and stuff like that. But you know the basic rules. We're gonna get into this. So we're gonna be going from me as first in the row, and then we go top to bottom in the call at that point onto that, because that's how it looks on the stream for that. Okay. So, my number 5 is a game that we did play on stream for that, and what barely made the cut onto this. I'm giving it to Gravity Rush onto that.
Yeah!
So, Gravity Rush was always a game that I knew about it ever since the Vita came out, and I always thought it looked super cool onto that. It's just for whatever reason, I never got around to it, and was like, okay, you know what? With stream, we're gonna finally do it this year, and yeah, it's a very unique little video game onto it. I do love just the means of transportation throughout the world that they make is really interesting. Kat might honestly be one of PlayStation's best protagonists onto that. I love her so much onto that. I'd say my biggest problems are just, in general, the combat definitely does feel a little janky onto it. And you can definitely tell it's a first game in the series kind of feel onto it. But it was such a unique game that I'm really excited to get to the second game whenever I can onto that. You know, just a very, very fun little game that goes on sale all the time. I highly recommend it if you have not played it. And yeah, that's going to be my number 5. So next up will be Ace.
Alright, so, for up until, checks notes, 3 days ago, I did not have a number 5. In fact, I was very tempted to just put Emergency Fortnite Chapter 5 as my number 5, but thank God I actually played something. And it was the Final Fantasy 16, the Echoes of the Fallen, and the Rising Tide.
Nice.
So, yeah, first of all, it just felt good playing more FF16 again, because, like, yeah, maybe the combat system's not that deep. It's really fun. It feels good. Going on a Perry Fiesta with Odin style makes me feel like fucking Virgil. Take that as you will. But yeah, the first DLC has probably one of the best boss fights in the game, with Soki going absolutely insane with the music.
Oh yeah, I beat that boss last night.
Yeah, and the second DLC, The Rising Tide, definitely is the one with the most meat and budget to it. It also has the hardest icon fight in the game, with the tightest DPS check in the game. Like, dear God, I am not looking forward to that.
One on that, or
no, Leviathan.
Oh, Leviathan's DPS checks. Okay.
Yeah. But the 2 new styles they give you in the second DLC are so much fun. They basically give you Gunslinger and on-demand Sin Devil Trigger from Devil May Cry 5.
Oh boy.
I got to some wacky shit. But yeah, this almost was Fortnite. Moving on.
All right, so Jason, you're number 5.
For me, my number 5 for my very limited list of games that I've actually played this year is Dragon Ball Sparking Zero.
Solid pick, yeah.
Yeah. So like it was, I was never expecting them to actually continue on with the Budokai Tenkaichi series. So the fact that they just decided out of nowhere, yeah, you know what? Instead of Fighters 2, we're just gonna do this again. And for me, it was very successful as a casual player who had to play the game online. Because apparently, for a while, and you played that game online, people very quickly found a way to found all of the busted stuff, and it was not fun for a lot of people for a while until
Roby got nerfed.
Android 19 and 20 got nerfed. Key spamming in general got nerfed, which you know, all of it was valid. I just really enjoyed that the way they actually did the story, because this is easily the most time they put into the narrative in any of the Budokai games, to the point where they also laid out. All right, so here's the same story. So this time it's all from Vegeta's perspective, or Gohan's perspective, or for some reason Jiren's perspective. Don't know why, but I guess it was a why not. And a nice added thing to it, there are certain conditions that you could take to take alternate paths to give cool what-if scenarios.
Some are strict.
Yeah, some are strict, and some flesh go further than others. But all in all, Sparky Zero, it was a nice surprise. I enjoyed it.
Chris, number 5.
All right, I'm in the same boat as Jason. I surprisingly didn't play very many new games this year, but early on in the year, around my birthday, I think, I got gifted this game called Rounds. And it's a pretty cool 2D shooter type game where you both people start with one card. It can affect either your bullets or your parry or your movement speed. And it's just like, it's kind of like a roguelike shooter type thing. Like if you've heard of Friends vs. Friends, it's that, but 2D kind of. And it's really fun. It's a good game for like a short burst of fun. It's not like something you play for hours and hours on end. But every time I boot it up, me and my friend Dalton, we just have a shit ton of fun. I think it's a good game to pick up if you want just a quick burst of fun.
What? All right, Ryan, you're number 5.
Okay, yeah. So, and I'm in the same boat where I didn't play an overwhelming amount of games this year, just because the ones I did play were often very, very long. So I didn't have as much time to devote to some of the other ones. And one that I have only experienced a teeny tiny little bit of, but I know I will absolutely adore, and I wanted to give it a shout out here just for how high quality it is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is one that I feel like in time, once I play it, more of it will go higher, but I just had to give it a shout out here just because, like, it's a sequel to Remake, which was my game of the year for 2020. I absolutely adored that game. And this, for all intents and purposes, is basically just Remake, but better. They've fleshed out a shitload of the mechanics. They've made the combat system even better. You know, the story is continuing to just feel like it's getting even more interesting while also still relatively sticking true to the original game. So, like, the changes don't feel like they're completely betraying anything like some people worried they would be. And yeah, I think this just keeps things on a fantastic track for the remake saga. And I feel like once they finish up with whether it's going to be like Resurrection or whatever the third part is called, I think this is easily going to be one of the best trilogies in all of video games if it's going to be as good as this.
Right.
I agree.
Debbie, you're number 5.
So, I'm kind of in the same boat as Ryan and Chris. I didn't play as many games as I did
that's
back
a general
in...
theme of everybody.
That's kind of a general theme I'm noticing here.
Yeah.
That is called being an adult.
like even compared to like 2022 and 2023, where I played like a lot of games in those years, because that was about the time where I was getting my job and I was finally making enough money to where I could consistently buy games. This year, I didn't really play a lot. Like, I got enough to where I could get in a top 10, but this is a top 5, so that point is moot. But my number 5 and number 4 went back and forth like constantly for the last couple of months. And I think after playing this game a little bit more yesterday and throughout the last couple of weeks, I think I'm kind of settled on it now. My number 5 is Stellar Blade by Shift Up Entertainment, I think is the studio.
Shift Up is at least the name in general.
Or just Shift Up. This was one of the 3 games that I wanted to get a PS5 to play, because the minute I saw that first trailer when the game was still called Project Eve, it caught my attention right away. I don't know what it was a mix of like the combat and the like the one tunnel sequence that really caught my attention. And actually playing the game, it wasn't what I expected, but I really did end up liking it. It's like a interesting combination of like a Dark Souls game with like a hack and slash. Like Devil May Cry, not necessarily Dynasty Warriors, but like character action, I guess, is the better term to call it. I like Eve and her 2 companions as characters, but the story is just nothing. It's just
it's
a character action game. I see.
Yeah, it is not. It is not there.
As someone who's hit credits, the story it exists.
Yeah. And I think the more I think about it, I think what ultimately led me to keep it at number 5 rather than put it at my number 4 is because like the bosses are really, really fun. Like I was telling everybody in the call earlier, like when I'm fighting these bosses, I get the same high that I get when I fight like super bosses in like a Kingdom Hearts game or a Final Fantasy game. But in a lot of respects, the regular enemy combinations that you fight throughout the game are harder than the bosses themselves, and I don't think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah.
And the game does have some pacing issues. And it kind of runs into the post-apocalyptic game issue where like a lot of the areas end up feeling a bit of the same because everything's destroyed and it all kind of falls in. There are a couple areas like in the late game that like finally changed things up and they were genuine delights. But like about the middle of the game, I was like, I'm tired of seeing a desert. I'm tired of seeing a ruined city. Can we like go to a jungle or something?
No.
just get me out of here. And this is also very much a game where I'm very excited for a potential sequel. Because if they improve on this established formula, we are in for one of the best games of the generation. I honest to God think. So yeah, that's my number 5.
All right, Travis, your number 5.
I am Astrobot. It earned the Game of the Year at the Game Awards, but for me, it's just my number 5 because unlike everyone else in the call, I played a lot of games this year. Like ordering 5 through 3 was actual hell.
Also, one ding for the Astrobot. Oh wait, no. Well, hold on. Go.
Astrobot, man, that's sad.
Okay, hold on. I'm gonna take out that guy. There we go. First ding for Astrobot. There we go.
like as anyone who watched like Pat's stream and everything knows, the game is just charming as all hell. Oh my god. Every level felt unique. The costumes and characters you can see get really neat, and those end of world levels, man.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, like I'm just gonna leave it at that though, because like I'm sure lots of other people in this call also have it in their list. But yeah, really, really good platformer.
Okay, so number 4 for me. Put this ding on. Shadow Generations.
Let's go! Hello!
The game I feel like is practically on everybody's list in some way onto this. But it's interesting. For me, I was definitely the most cautious about Shadow Generations going into its hype cycle onto it, mostly because of, track record of Sonic ports have not been that great, and also of them trying to make a new campaign. I kind of felt like the team was not really up to snuff onto that, even after Forces, and I think it was mostly Final Horizon really made me kind of worry. Thankfully, a lot of those worries were put aside as soon as I started playing, because, for one, this is the best boost control has ever felt in any of these games, full stop, onto that. I think the level design is also some of the best. I think, in particular, with your new powers of Chaos Control and Doom Blast, I think they're two abilities that really help change how Shadow feels in comparison to Sonic. Of actually looking at your environment, seeing what can you use in that to get alternate paths onto that is really fun onto that. I also want to shout out Whitespace. I honestly think Whitespace is better designed than pretty much any island in Frontiers. It's smaller, but it's much more compact on the actual stuff that you can do in it, and I felt compelled to get every little tiny thing in that overworld for me. Some of the bosses are just okay onto it. The one standout one is really Mephiles onto that. I don't think I'm quite in love with it as everybody else, but it is easily the best 3D game since, well, the other game that it's packaged with onto that generations on that. So really great time. I also kind of wish the music was a little bit better. Casey Lee Williams is really carrying the whole soundtrack on her back. Oh my god, she's hurting onto that. But
my neck.
But yeah, Shadow Generations is easily the best 3D game we've gotten in a very long time onto that, and I'm really excited for what comes next. I swear to God, Sonic Team, do not burn this newfound optimism again. I'm tired of this cycle. Just be good. Just be good. Use this as a foundation. I swear to God on me.
we need to be done with the we're so back with so over cycle.
Yeah, can we just be back? Can we just be back the entire time? No strings attached. Please on that. But yeah.
It's so over. We're so back. It's so over.
It's so over. It's so big.
All right, Mr. Ace, you're number 4.
Sonic X Shadow Generations.
Let's go! Let's go!
Hey, you know
I
what?
like the fact you didn't even tag team with me on that. You just wanted to wait on that.
Yeah.
You know what? While we're at it,
Let's go!
and you know what? While we're also at it,
Oh my god.
Shadow Generations is number 4.
The fact none of you tag teamed with me and you all had it at your number 4. I swear to God.
Bunch of bastards, honestly.
gentlemen, good work.
Doctor. Yo, Jason, dab me up.
Hey, yo, dab me up.
Don't leave me hanging.
Quad dab. Holy shit.
Hey, yo, dab me up. We still don't have a dab me up.
dab me up, boys.
Anyway, yeah, what can we add that what pet to what can we add to the conversation?
I will. Sonic Generation's bad.
Wrong.
What?
In comparison.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay, in comparison, sure.
Like, God, like, Classic does not feel good at all. I feel like I'm constantly fighting with Classic. Modern Sonic, like, yeah, it still boosts, but I feel like he controls worse than Unleashed. But
No, you
I'm
all know
done
what?
agreeing with you. I'm done agreeing.
Like, you all know what it probably is. It's just the fact that back in the day when Generations first came out, it was a control scheme that we were accustomed that we got used to, and we were like accustomed to it because we started with Unleash, then with Colors, and then Generations, which by that time, Generations controlled better. Did control better than Unleash, and Classic Sonic definitely wasn't.
Sonic 4.
It wasn't Sonic. It wasn't Sonic 4.
No, but it wasn't classic. It definitely wasn't classic.
It wasn't classic, but it still operated. But it was doing its own thing, and at the time, we all liked that its own thing. However, since then, we got an owner. We played other stuff. In the case of Classic Sonic, we got Sonic Mania.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even like. He doesn't control anything close to class. I just feel like I'm like what
it feels
is
a lot heavier
like,
than I remember Generation.
I feel like I'm fighting with the controls more with Classic. That's what it feels like.
I still
Like,
don't agree.
Shut the
I
fuck
also
up.
don't
Anyway.
agree.
I do agree that because it's been so long, Classic Sonic does feel heavier. I got used to it again, so I was still going through these levels because muscle memory will just do that to you because I played Generation so much. But I do understand that feeling. I haven't touched this game in so long. Man, I can't wait. Man, this feels kind of different, even though it's the exact same game.
I think it doesn't help that we have taste forbidden fruit of Shadow's control now at this point.
This was before I even touched Shadow's campaign. It already felt like so broken. And like frame 1, I jumped into Shadow. It's just like, this feels so good.
Yeah, no, like as someone who also went Sonic then Shadow, yeah, like even I felt that this doesn't feel as good as I remember.
And again, it's weird because the only thing that they really touched. It was just like the story and like adding in the drop dash was. By the way, why did they add the drop dash? It adds nothing.
So true.
It adds nothing. But yeah, control wise, they didn't really touch anything. It's the same game that we played. In
2011.
Oh my
Yeah.
god!
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's the same game that we played in 2011 and we loved.
Which, hey, I mean, for it to actually be a 1-to-1 port for Sonic is very rare.
True.
I think it's just the fact that we just gotten older and played other stuff. Yeah. I don't know what else it could be.
But anyway, you guys want to talk about the black and red elephant in the room? To that.
You know what? I think for next game we should give Sonic these things called Chaos Powers, so let him turn into this chaos-like squid when he enters special Chaos Water.
Dude, I love Splatoon.
Yay! But yeah, the Chaos Powers are pretty neat. The Dew Powers are pretty neat. Dew Morph does need some tweaking because it is way too jank. I spent 5 minutes at the start of Chaos Island and tried to get a hang on it. Also, why is Chaos Island here? Why is it here? I know they had the assets. Why is it here? Like, you didn't even give a story reason why. Like Shadow never went here. There's no connection to Shadow. Like, it should have been a Black Knight stage. I'm saying, it should have been a Black Knight stage. Anyway, moving on. Jason, go.
The one thing that I wish they would have added in retrospect is like, let's just say, like, for example, Kingdom Valley hard. Now, what I mean by hard, I don't mean necessarily we make the levels harder. I'm just like, here's the same level, except slightly tweaked, so that way you can also benefit by using some of the mechanics that they added in later. Because the Doom Morph is very janky, and I don't think the game does a good job of teaching you how to use it well. But once you do learn how it actually functions, like, I do find it to be like a very fun ability. It's just you use it in 2 levels and that's it. And so I wish there was like a way to unlock some of the earlier levels. Except now, here's all the mechanics.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
That's my own. That is my only thing. That and do not go out there or about a Cubot stuff. It is not worth it. It sucks. Why did they do that to me?
It was not that hard.
No. I'm not saying I'm not mad at it because it's hard. I'm mad at it because it gives you nothing. That's why I'm mad. The reward
a song.
The reward is man, you actually did that? Bro.
At least it's not Korok seeds, that's all I'm gonna say.
Korok seeds actually does some function, where it does expand your storage. I don't think the developers ever expected everybody to go out. I don't think they intentionally expected everyone to go after the Korok seeds. And they just threw in that reward for those players that actually went out of their way to like get all of them. They just expect the players to get what they need. And here, there is no actual reward or benefit for going after all like the parts. It's just for a trophy.
No, you do get a
There
song.
were rewards
from it.
every 20 or 10 or 20.
Yeah, you got like some art pieces for the checkpoints, and the final one will get you a song.
What's the song? Just I forget what the song was.
Brandon said in chat, it's the Forces remix of Supporting Me.
Cool. Thank you.
Damn.
Someone else go.
Is everyone else done
okay.
talking about Shadow, or is there more?
I haven't really just given my thoughts on it
All
yet,
right.
but yeah.
Go
Ultimately, I think I basically agree with what you guys have all said. Like it's probably the best the Boost gameplay has ever felt. The level design is like such an amazing just like step up from basically almost all other Boost level design, which just side note, it's hilarious how many people were saying this game had Forces level design in the build up, which boy were those people proven fucking wrong.
People were saying that?
Yes,
yeah.
they were.
Oh, dude,
all on
we got
Twitter.
we got the first bit of gameplay, and I saw like 50 people on Twitter be like, "Forces ass level design." I'm like, shut the hell up.
I mean,
and it wasn't even like
I do think the actual Sunset Heights stage kind of does have that a little bit on too.
It's still a million times better than any actual Forces stages.
Yeah, at least there's stuff going on in Shadow Generation Sunset Heights.
To be fair, I feel like a lot of my worry was really coming in on the actual powers onto it. I was like, okay, how much are these going to actually change much? I was in particular really worried about Doom Wings onto that before we realized that it was the supersonic equivalent onto that, because I was like, that I feel like this is just going to break the game in fucking half onto.
But yeah, ultimately, like, level design's great. I love the little open world. I love the story and how it feels like it gives Shadow a much needed character expansion after he's had nothing basically since 06. And like, really, the only thing that stops this game from being higher on my list is that it's like Bowser's Fury, where it's just a smaller game and not like a full length production. Like, if this had more levels and was longer and maybe expanded more on like the narrative and the characters, it would probably be even higher. But like with all that, like between this and Frontiers, I am very, very excited for where the future of Sonic goes, because I think you have like the perfect Sonic game if you take the best elements of this and Frontiers and put them together.
Maria, I swear, I have moved on. Maria, I swear, I have moved on. Maria, I swear, for real this time, I have moved on.
So, I guess it would be Chris's turn now?
It would be Chris after the shadowing.
Such a massive change in topic. Buckshot Roulette is a very fun.
That's a different game.
I think I saw that video once.
On my channel.
Yo, that's also my favorite video on Pornhub. Let's go, Chris.
Oh my god.
Anywho, back to the actual game.
It's Russian roulette with a shotgun. What else would you want?
It also has 4-player multiplayer.
Yeah, the multiplayer update was really good. I bought this game way back when it was like only an itch.io game, but then it came onto Steam and I was all over it. And so was every single one of my friends in my other server. It's just an incredibly fun game. The items really change up the gameplay. They added the actual roguelike mode where you just go on forever. And then the multiplayer update's just the icing on the cake for the entire game.
Yeah, I've yet to play the multiplayer.
It is so good.
So, Chris, would you shoot your friends in the back with a shotgun?
Yes.
He is.
No.
Wait, so wait,
Good thing they're staring me down when I shoot them.
wait, the actual name of the game is Buckshot Roulette.
Yes.
Buckshot.
Because it's a shotgun.
No.
It's a shotgun.
Okay.
Yes, no,
Yeah.
it's not backshot roulette.
Oh,
I would
my
like to note
God.
that there was a VTuber group that did like a stream for the multiplayer mode, and they accidentally used the backshot roulette logo for
The meme got so big that the actual dev used the backshot logo or the backshot joke in one of the trailers.
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Glorious.
Alrighty. So next would be Davey.
Hello, it is me, the guy who likes Mario. You guys ever heard of a little game called Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door on the Nintendo Switch?
I
Because
thought that
that's
wasn't
my number
allowed.
4, baby.
Technically, that's
it
not
wasn't allowed.
supposed to be allowed onto them because you played this game
What?
several times.
But it's a remake, so it's technically and there's new stuff in here I could talk about. I have it low. I have it low for a reason. I have it low for a
Drop it,
reason.
roll out.
Low.
So I think it'll be very apparent as I get later on into my like top 5 that I was very spoiled this year with things that came out. Obviously I went on my little gush about Stellar Blade, but the fact that I was already that I was getting a remake of my favorite game of all time was just the best thing I could ever ask for, and I was a little worried at first that they weren't going to deliver because this is the modern Paper Mario team we're talking about, but they knocked it out of the park. Like, the game feels great. It looks incredible. The remix music is fantastic. I love the new content that they added. Like, they didn't add a lot, but 2 new super bosses for a Paper Mario game is like fucking cocaine for me. Like, legit, they are some of the most fun I've had with Paper Mario in years. And I think the only big problem that I have with it, okay, 2. I only have 2. I wish they added more content. Like, I don't think they added enough new content. Like, I think we should have gotten like boss rematches or something like that, kind of like what Super Mario RPG did. And I think menu speed is a little slow. That is a very nitpicky thing, but when you've played this game as much as I have for like the past 20-something years, you kind of notice these little things. Like, dialogue, like text dialogue is kind of slow, menu speed's a little slow, battle menu speed's a little slow, and I'm sure maybe shut up. By the time we get to Switch 2, maybe with an update, these issues might be worked out. But right now, that's kind of the only problem that I have with it. Other than that, it is still a fantastic game. And somehow, surprisingly, not the best game I played this year.
Yeah, Brandon says in chat, like, I think the only major con for me with it was that it was kind of lame that the remake was 30 FPS when the original was 60. That was kind of lame, but
yeah, like, why?
It's something you get over very quickly, though.
But it's still one of
if you are paying full price, why is the remake technically
when your game is
inferior?
running on a later gen hardware, why is it running worse?
Yeah. But next, Triforce, your number 4.
So speaking of remakes, my number 4 is one that was already talked about. Hi, Rebirth.
There we go.
Yeah, so Tevi says he was spoiled. The amount of RPGs I played this year, my god! Like, Rebirth is only number 4 for me, and spoiler alert, it's not the only RPG in my top 5.
Yep.
But yeah, so for me with Rebirth, like, as someone who never actually beat the original version, but at least knew the general plot synopsis and everything, man, going through Rebirth was a trip and a half with certain parts. And yeah, no, I was just having the time of life. Like, I shared some of what my reactions were during Pat's stream of the game, so those who saw that already know my general thoughts on the game, but like, really, really solid part 2. I'm just gonna leave that to avoid any potential spoiler stuff.
All right. So for my number 3, at this point, I am Astrobot.
Oh my!
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, all right. Who else has it at number 3? Raise your hand.
Imagine owning a PS5.
No number 3. No other number 3s. Go once. Go twice.
Number 3, my lord. Number 3.
Okay.
It's not-
Yeah, Astrobot is one of the most charmingest ship platformers I have played in years. Onto that, I was already a big fan of Astro's Playroom, and I was really waiting to see that team get a full-fledged game onto that. And yeah, they passed it with flying colors onto that. I think the level design in it's great. The power-ups are really fun to use. Very fun game to speedrun onto that. Oh my gosh, onto that. And also, just I think the right amount of difficulty onto that too. Not too hard, but it will definitely push you on a few of like the bonus levels and stuff like that. And it cannot be stated the amount of charm oozing from this game, from every little reference that you'll find onto there. In particular, I love how the a lot of the reference Astrobots all have like references, in particular ones that like only people of the franchise will know, Bloodborne probably being one of my favorite examples of that onto it. I think
Wake up, DP!
I think Astro's one, I guess, quote-unquote problem is that it is not technically a very original game onto that. If you've played any other platformer, you kind of seen everything Astrobot will throw at you at that point, but that's not saying that's bad at all, but it is very good. I think I would just like to see them push it a little bit more next time. But
it's very much just Playroom but bigger.
Yeah, but as many people have said, and I agree, it's easily the best Sony exclusive in a very long time onto that, and I hope we see more of this in the future from this studio onto that. Yeah, Astrobot is great onto it. Anybody with a PS5, please go play it if you haven't already.
Oh, yeah.
But I feel like most of you have, so there you go.
Also, because it'll be with your PS5, make sure to play the tech demo first. It'll make you hate the villain even more.
Let's put it this way. They say the PS5 has one game. This is the one game.
Wrong. 2. Astro's Playroom and Astrobot.
It's a little attack with the PS5.
All right, Ace, number 3.
All right, so I had to keep interrupting this game because a certain few people got into a certain MMO that we'll inevitably talk about later. Do you like dragons? I like dragons. Do you like money? I like an infinite amount of money. It's like a dragon, infinite wealth. Alright, so, yep, second Ichiban adventure, and I still love this boy. I love this boy. I love him so much. I don't care if he's over 40, he's still my boy. I love him so much. He's such a dork, but he's such lovable. He's everything I hope for in humanity. Also, Kiryu's here. Hi, Kiryu. Oh, shouldn't he be retired? Yes? But I also have cancer, so one more adventure for the road! But, yeah. So, Infinite Wealth is... It's I think where RGG Studios have figured out how to get these Ichiban style games to play, because the first game was kind of a weird RPG with not much with very backwards battle systems. Here they actually figured out how to make a fucking RPG, and a good one at that, by having you cross-class the shit out of stuff. My setup is probably going to be very different from your setup. And you have 2 different parties to work with, so strategies between those, so that gives you a good opportunity to try different things with the different parties. The main event, though, is definitely the story and the side quests. Oh, and the new zone. RGG, how do you have the budget to keep making new zones? And I was also wondering, how are you going to reuse this zone, but we'll get to that later. Honolulu it's I think the biggest zone they've made so far.
Probably.
And they go crazy. I feel like some of these games is just an excuse for RGG to go on a fucking tourism spree.
I want to go on vacation. Oh right, we can make a new game out of this.
Yeah, it's kind of like with Araki with JoJo. Just all right, where did I go recently? All right, new part. Which, funny enough, the new part of JoJo also is in Hawaii. So, but yeah, Ichiban is just as lovable as ever, and he does really shine with a lot of his side quests, especially one in particular for him, which involves the fucking baby patriarch in a side quest that actually broke me, involving the fucking baby patriarch. What the fuck?
Those who know know.
Yeah. Kiryu on the flip side, 6 was a weird game to leave off Kiryu with. Infinite Wealth feels like the proper send-off he needed. It's very introspective for him. It covers a part of his character that most games don't, and that's actually letting Kiryu live for himself. Oh, and the story fits into that as the last thing he basically needs to take care of before either fully retiring to take care of his whole, cancer problem or die trying, is to clean up the final mess of the Tojo, and basically the literal embodiment of everything wrong he has done in the entire series, leading to a pretty satisfying ending with Kiryu that I hope they actually end Kiryu with. I'm fine with him appearing in later games, but he shouldn't fight at all. I want him to be happy. Let Kiryu be with his damn kids already!
And on that note, I'm tagging in!
I'm not done yet. Because I still have two more things to talk about. First being the two main side modes with the sort of Animal Crossing islands and the best Pokemon game ever made, not by Game Freak, with Sujimon.
Yeah.
Seriously, they made a better Pokemon game than the actual Pokemon guys. I know it's actually surprisingly easy, but I mean, it's actually really good. But yeah, so my only main problems with Infinite Wealth is also story related. I feel like there are more missed opportunities than there should be. Certain characters that don't interact, I feel like there are endpoints to certain characters we don't get to see. For example, Ichiban really should have had one more interaction with Kiryu's final boss for important reasons. But yeah, now the main event is coming in 2 months with fucking Pirate Like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. That's basically the sequel to Black Flag I always wanted. Alright, now you can go.
Yeah, so Infinite Wealth's also my number 3. Which, yeah, Ace already mentioned a lot of the details I would have mentioned, but I still remember just booting up the game, being like, man, 7 was a great game. Just gets to Ichiban's first real scene with the river. I was like, oh, yes, we are back.
This boy. I love this boy so much.
But RGG making RPGs is just such a fun time. Again, Ace already said most of what I would have said, honestly. Fun part about us sharing the same slot.
All right, so which means it's my go. All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather around because I have a question. I have a question for everyone.
Yes.
Remember Overwatch?
Oh my god!
a worthless button.
Remember in 2016, this fun little game came out from Blizzard called Overwatch. Took the world by storm. It definitely caught me off guard. It was a game that I didn't pay attention to up until release. Then the game came out. I decided to try it on a whim. 2,000 hours later, I was still playing it. It's so weird. I never thought I would go through the same cycle again. For the same kind of game. But guess what? Marvel Rivals comes out of nowhere and and like Overwatch, I didn't pay much attention to it. Then the game came out. I tried it. Over 100 hours later, I am still very much playing this game. I'm just like, how did they get me twice? How exactly did they get me twice? How would you do that?
You put 100 hours into Marvel Rivals already?
Oh yeah.
I really, I
Oh my
really
god! Did that game only come out like a couple weeks ago?
I
you
believe
don't,
it.
you,
I believe it.
I believe it.
Ryan, you don't understand. I really like Overwatch. I am not a casual player of these games. I am full on. Probably the closest to try hard that I ever am in any other video, game. And Marvel Rivals reminded me of all the best ways why I got into Overwatch in the first place, because these are some really cool characters with some really cool abilities, and especially because it's Marvel, this game does a really great job of translating the hero fantasy into a video game. It is so much fun as a Hulk, seeing Iron Man fly in the air, and you as a dive tank at the Hulk jump up to Iron Man's face and say, "No, get back down on the ground. You don't get to fly today." It is also really fun as Hawkeye to just be like, "Hey, remember Hanzo? I'm him on crack. Headshot. You're dead. By the way, here's also my ultimate, which gives me outlasted everybody, which I hit those, you also take damage. So you're dead again and again and again." I'm Doctor Strange. I'm a tank for some reason, and I'm probably the best tank in the game with my gigantic shield and my teleport that I can actually just place, and I can actually just place anywhere. We're just going to teleport behind. We're just going to jump up behind enemy lines. "Hi, my name is Jeff the Shark. I hate playing against you. I hate playing against Jeff the Shark. But when I'm Jeff the Shark, I am goated. I love activating my ult, swallowing everybody, including my teammates. And if I don't remember that I swallow my teammates, I guess they're dying too. Oh well. And like,
I get. So who are you talking about again?
Jeff the Shark. Real talk. Marvel Rivals, as someone who put way too much time to Overwatch, feels like watching Overwatch in in a different timeline. What if we did What if we didn't do Hero Lock? What if we did Roll-Lock? What if we continue further down the open queue idea? What if we just decided, hey, Brigitte, how this character was busted? Yeah. What if everybody was busted? What if everybody was strong in different ways, and we just said, "Yeah, there you go have fun."
My favorite kind of balancing, honestly, and that's not like a snide remark. That actually is my favorite balancing. God,
it's so fun when it's like that.
It is so fun watching people discover characters. When this game came out, Wolverine sucked. But people have figured out Wolverine, and he is possibly one of the best characters in the game because he had this tiny little mechanic. It's very simple. Wolverine could just kidnap you and take you off. I'm not joking. Wolverine can literally pick you up and drag you away from the fight into the back alley and then just end your life. I am not exaggerating.
Yeah.
I've seen good Wolverine players. It's terrifying.
On a similar thing with me, obviously trying Spider-Man first because first ever superhero I got into, but me trying Spider-Man first few games, I'm okay figuring him out. Once it clicked though, it's like zip, punch, zip, you get webbed, zip.
So I'm very interested to see what path this game takes from here, because just like with Open Queue Overwatch, it has all the upsides and all of the downsides too. Because it does suck if you refuse to flex. It does suck going into a game. We got 5 DPS and 1 healer. and none of the DPS wants to swap over to healer because they want to play as Scarlet Witch or they want to play as the Punisher. They want to play as their favorite character, and you know what? They have every right to want to play as their favorite character. But don't complain when we lose because you refuse to swap to another character. I like Mama Ryan was really funny.
I feel like this is a call-out post. Is this a call-out post? I feel
Teddy,
like it's a
pick up
call-out
a support, I swear to God. Teddy, Scarlet Witch is not that good anymore. People have figured her out.
But Tevi only plays one thing in any game: big dick damage.
I'm fine. Play someone else.
All right, Chris, you're number 3.
You're here to talk about Shadow Generations. Let's go.
There it is.
Like just completely separate from Sonic Generations in like as its own thing. This is the best Sonic game we've had for a while. Like this surpasses Frontiers. Forces exist. What else is there that we could possibly compare it to?
Mania.
Lost World.
Mania.
Okay, Mania's a 2D. That's not quite the
You're
same
saying
thing.
you gotta specify 3
Lost
to get
World.
to that. You just
Okay,
Lost World.
On that.
Lost World was so long ago. And also,
Lost
shut
who?
up.
Tell excuse me, Lost who?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
I genuinely don't think I could add anything onto from what the other 4 rants said about it earlier.
I just think the game
I
is
thought
neat.
about putting it down at 4 just so I could jump in, but I think it's better to just leave it as it is.
All right. So Ryan, you're number 3.
Okay, yeah. So I feel like a lot of people will often have one developer who really clicks with them for a year, depending on what games they play. And that developer for me this year was undoubtedly Atlas, because there is not one but 2 of their games in my top 3. And it's appropriate that this is number 3 because this is Persona 3 Reload.
Persona 5, I do it.
Persona 3 Reload that I'm talking about here. This the best version of Persona 3. I don't care what Nostalgia Blind Mega 10 YouTubers say. This version of 3 is, oh my god, it's so damn good. I have wanted to give Persona 3 a chance for a long time, but because I have friends who swear by it, but the game always felt like, to me, the original versions, I should say, a very good foundation that was weighed down by very questionably stupid design decisions. And Reload corrects basically all of them. I think this is a phenomenal RPG top to bottom. It looks stunning. It's a joy to play. It's got great voice acting. It doesn't feel like it wastes, and it respects your time. And it was just one of those games that when I was stuck in my shitty customer service line job that I had earlier this year, I would just look forward to playing every day after work, and I could just zone out and just vibe with it. It was just a joy the whole way through. And it's what got me really hooked on this Atlas kick, because there's another game I'll mention later, and I'm playing through Persona 5 right now because God, I'm just in love with their games at the moment. I don't know if anybody else played 3 Reload this year, but if you haven't, do it. It's amazing.
It is definitely on my thing. It was just I had to choose between that and another game that came out around that time onto that. So, but it is on the list for next year for sure.
Stares at my Igus statue I have on my shelf.
All right, Tabby on number 3.
Hey guys, have you ever heard of the vastly popular MMO Final Fantasy XIV with a free trial that goes all the way to Stormblood? Well, I'm talking about having.
If it isn't the wait, before he starts. If it isn't the first consequence of my own actions.
Hey,
you asked for this.
I know.
So okay, so legit, I've wanted to try 14 for the longest time because, like, I think I'm in kind of the seat of a lot of other people where I've seen my friends play it, I've seen popular content creators that I watch play it, and it's always seemed like something that like it's easy to get into, but I knew for a fact it was going to be a major time sink, and I didn't know if I was ready for it. Oh man, was I ready? Like, so in particular, this is not the placement on this list is not for Final Fantasy 14 and Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward. It is for the raids, purely the raids that we did, the raids and the dungeons in base 14, because the story was just, God, get me out of here. And then all of Heavensward. I love this game. I love the story. I love the characters. Despite the fact that most of mine kind of got killed off at the end of the first game, but the first part. But we got a couple back. You know, we're working our way back up in the ranks. I love the setting of Ishgard. I love how this game plays. And just I think playing with friends, like this is probably the multiplayer game I'm going to put the most time into for the rest of my life.
Oh yeah.
And it's just because there are so many things that you can do. Like you can go to dungeons, you can just walk around in the open field acting like a fucking moron. You can go to the gold saucer, you can walk around the gold saucer like a fucking moron. There's so many things that you can do. No. I refuse.
Real quick, I want to mention for Breakster, but Tevy, didn't you like little Reddit admin Alpha Node? Don't you know?
God.
That's my favorite way I've ever heard ARR Alpha Node described.
Wait, what'd you say? Reddit Alpha Node?
Reddit admin Alpha Node.
Man, I can't believe one of Alpha's Reddit mods took over the subreddit.
Bro, that's crazy.
Oh my god.
That's
And,
crazy.
and the best part is, where's the lie?
But
Where's the
continue
lie?
on. Brandon, play 14 and understand. Anyway,
Yes, play 14.
Continue on.
So to quote myself from my my top 10 games for 2023 video from last year, I don't often play Final Fantasy, but when I do, it's peak. And Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward is very, very peak. I am currently going through the patch content right now. I think I'm about to go to like the last patch before Stormblood.
No, for reference, Tevi is right before 3.3, and if you know you're 14, that's a biggy one. So Tevi, this place might move up higher within like a few weeks.
Oh yeah, Tevi, hand on shoulder. You have not seen anything yet.
Oh boy.
Anyway,
oh boy.
continue on.
Anyway, I've had a lot of fun with this game, and I'm just so thankful that I have a group of friends that has just helped me out and stuck by me playing this game, and just like I had so much fun making my character, and I have a little wind-up Tifa that follows me around, and it's the cutest thing ever. And it's great. I love this game. I cannot wait for Stormblood, and I'm ready for more 14. And if you asked me like 2 years ago if I would have gotten if I was ready to get into 14, I'd say fuck no. But I'm so glad I finally got into this.
It really seemed like the two moments that you started to fall in love with 14 was one when you picked up Samurai onto that.
Yeah,
I think
Samurai class is like my Samurai class is incredible. I love Samurai class because I think we've established earlier in the live stream I like big dick damage.
The character.
Someone please clip that and take off the word damage.
Oh god.
No, please.
I will delete any
I'm a
clip that
fucking
do that
whore.
to it, you
And then
fucker,
they're
and you will
just-
get timed out.
Dude, it's this soundbite all over again.
So if you know me, you know I am a whore.
I was
But anyway, I feel like it was one when you picked up Samurai, you just started jiving with the game way better. The other part where I think you fell in love was Alexander. Onto that.
Oh my
Oh,
God,
that was such a fun
Alexander!
Dude, that was a
Alexander.
fun night.
You know, I think part of me kind of wishes we split that night into 2 nights because by the end of it, I was just drained.
Oh yeah, it did.
But
Yeah.
oh my
yeah,
God,
yeah.
But Alexander is genuinely a great raid series, and I got to finally experience forward and back and forward and back and then go forward and back and then forward.
Also, fuck that one Bard.
Yeah.
But no, like to anyone who's watching this like right now on Twitch or later in the VOD, if you have not had
Hi.
a chance or like if you have not played Final Fantasy 14, first of all, find a group of friends that has played Final Fantasy 14, have them help you slog through Realm Reborn, and then enjoy the peak that is Final Fantasy 14 Heavensward.
I cannot
was a-
tell you how much having a group of friends to help you get through ARR is such a boon. It is
Yep.
100% possible to get through ARR by yourself. It's hard. And it's not because ARR is hard. There's no like surprising spike in difficulty. It's just the game gets so much better as the further you get in.
Yep.
And ARR is just. I appreciate what ARR did for this whole game and Square Enix, but now that we're far away from it, oh my goodness, ARR can be very boring at times.
It's more fun when you have the group to, because I feel like in ARR you have more fun with the memories that you have with friends than the actual main MSQ itself onto that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Like-
the
like-
MSQ for a Realm Reborn is fucking boring.
yeah. Like for those who don't know, I've been recording the game with 2 friends, and that's how I got through ARR, was playing with those 2 friends.
But yeah, if you ever do want to get into the game, there's a free trial right there all the way up to Stormblood onto
Yeah.
that.
Look,
Wait,
there
hang
was-
on.
there
We're
was
gonna
a
do
reason-
this. We're
There
gonna do
is a
this right.
reason. There is a reason that like everybody was saying the whole the free trial that goes all the way to the award-winning Heavensward. I see it now. I see why it's award-winning. And now
That's
we're
why we
now
always
it's
push
now goes up
Heavensward,
to
because
Stormblood.
that's when 14 really kicks into high gear.
Hang on, no, we gotta do this right. Ace, go on,
Yes.
do it,
Wait.
do it. Come on, you did it. You
Say the line.
Say the line, Ace.
Either way.
I actually don't know what the bit is. Like, are we doing like am I doing the
copy
the
pasta?
meme.
The copy
The
pasta.
Oh, okay. Like I thought I was gonna get my balls sawed off if I said the copy pasta one more time. Look, I'm not used to 14 being socially acceptable in this friend group still.
Say the line, Ace.
Shadowbringers' peak.
But I think that to end off what Tevi says, hey Tevi, if you enjoyed Heavensward, congratulations, you're gonna love the rest of the game. At this point.
Dude,
Yeah.
like I was saying earlier, I can't wait to get the Stormblood next year. And I hope to God it doesn't take me all year to do it.
you're past the worst part of 14. You are locked the fuck in at this point.
I am locked in, and I can't ready. I can't ready. See, I'm so enamored by 14, I can't fucking speak anymore.
Okay, I think we need to go to my number 2 before.
I'm done. Let's move on.
Hey, speaking of Final Fantasy, there's this little game called Final Fantasy VII Renerf. That came out.
Oh god damn it.
So we did an entire stream for this series. We did an entire spoil cast. I don't feel like there's too much more I have to say other than like I enjoyed Remake for what it is. I think it laid a good foundation for like this more action route that Final Fantasy has been going down onto it. But oh my god, Rebirth absolutely trounces Remake in every shape and fashion onto that. The combat is even better. I think they have finally found a good balance with the side quests onto that. The character writing is phenomenal. I love seeing this cast given the proper respect that they deserve again onto that. And like, honestly, we kept saying like, this game is just kind of straight up a Xenoblade game in terms of its structure onto that.
Yep.
And I love the fact for me in particular with how they do with the side quests. If you don't want to do them, you can perfectly head straight through and you're really not missing that much onto it. But the side quests are so fun and worth doing. But I think they've hit that blend onto it. Queen's Blood is legitimately one of the most fun side activities I have ever done in a Final Fantasy game onto that. I love that side quest so much. And damn, man, when they said they were going to remake 7 onto it, I feel like this is the game everybody really had been waiting for onto it. And if it wasn't for the fact that one other game came into my life, it would absolutely be my number 1 onto that. And I am extremely curious where we're going with part 3 at this point. It's going to be a wait for it, but damn, Rebirth was an incredible time onto that. And I'm very glad to have played it.
On the note, real quick, I still love just the moment it clicked for you during the streams.
Of
just you playing Queen's Blood. Just the second it clicked for you.
Yeah. All right. Ace, you're number 2.
Oh shit, sorry, I was sticking around with Jason in 14. Showing off my Shadow play.
Beautiful. Anyways.
We're actually now in a... For my number 1 and number 2, we're actually in a similar situation to like 3 years ago with 2 specific games again. Except things have flipped. For number 2, we have we gotta talk about it more. It's Final Fantasy XIV Dawn Trail.
Hey!
Oh shit, I'm not there yet.
Welcome to summer vacation, Ben.
Onto that, but yeah.
So yeah, man, I wanted to go on summer vacation to Central America. Man, this is really cool. Man, that was out of my bingo card. We're going where? Oh god. Oh, this is fucked up. Oh, this is fucked up. Oh, history's most fallen queen. Man, this truly was at the end of it. Wow, this truly was the Final Fantasy IX expansion.
The Dawn Trail was truly the friends we made along the way.
But yeah, Dawn Trail was basically everything I wanted it to be. It just, I'd say, barely misses S tier for me. It's top of A for me. Like, it still has a great like main campaign. The new characters they introduced, Wook Lamont is a pretty good central character to center the story around. I think she does get too much dialogue space, if you get what I mean. Like, yeah, it's like
she's a very simple character onto that, and she works very well. I do think we just need a little bit more of the side characters to balance it out. I think a little bit better. But Wook Lamont herself is a really fantastic character onto that overall.
But yeah, so a lot the new locations they introduced are pretty good. The dungeon, I think we might have some of the best set of leveling dungeons for any expansion. And like the midpoint was not on my bingo card with the cave. You know the cave, Pat.
Yes, I know of the cave.
Copious amounts of food porn, as of course. Like, don't play Dawn Trail when you're hungry. Class changes were good pretty much across the boards. As a samurai main, I made out like a fucking bandit over the course of the first patch. Both of the opening raid tiers have been really good. The first tier, the Arcadion, might be the horniest raid tier we've ever had, and I'm all for it. And the first tier for the 11 raids, it's also great. We'll also stomp your balls in. So, yeah, I just feel like it whiffs a little if it had a slightly better batting average, Dawn Trail would have been my number one and made it into S tier. But there's just a few story pacing issues and a few way they space out like character interactions, and the dialogue ratio is a little too out of whack for it to make it into S tier, which meant something else took the top spot. The reverse of previous.
Yeah.
We'll get to it later.
But yeah, honestly, I feel like Dawn Trail really does feel like Stormblood 2.0 of like, yeah, the main MSQ could have been cleaned up a little bit more. Actual game content-wise, this is my second favorite expansion onto that.
Oh boy!
And if this post-patch content keeps up, this is a runner for second best expansion in 14 onto that, I think.
Oh.
Overall.
Wow.
Yeah. All right, Jason, you're number 2.
Astrobot.
Yeah. That's what I've been waiting for.
Jason, I'm just gonna do this now.
Astrobot.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll tag in after you.
I mean, like, I feel like at this point, a lot of what can be said about the game itself has been stated. The only thing I feel that I could like add to it is just how out of left field it was, especially when you look at the grander narrative that was Sony this year. Because I cannot actually say it because I can't play it, but I feel like a dishonorable mention also has to go to the whole Concord situation and how much money was lost on one game.
Yep.
It is unfathomable how much money Sony spent, not just on the game, but everything outside the game. Like, think about all the marketing and stuff that they have planned.
We are not in dishonorable mention yet. Let's talk about happy times right now.
Happy, joy.
Yeah, but because of that, just like in the midst of all this, here comes like this tiny little robot with like this, the tiny little robot, which is his tiny little game. That's a celebration of just Sony and everything related to Sony. Even some of the things that you wouldn't kind of say related to Sony. I still don't see Street Fighter as like a Sony thing, but it's there and I enjoy it. So thank you. It's a nice out of left field platformer that I am glad it got all the accolades it got because it very much deserved them. It also should be a giant wake-up call.
Yeah.
We didn't have
Yeah.
I think the craziest part about Astrobot was the fact that, like, I was always looking forward to it. But then I think, like, a lot of us were expecting, like, 8 out of 10, like, pretty good platformer kind of deal. And then the reviews came out, 10, 10, 10,
Yeah.
10, 10, 10. I was like, oh.
Dude, we can make good games.
Oh, it's not stopping.
Like, I still remember, like, because I had played Playroom and even some of the VR games that Astro was in, because I have a PlayStation VR, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, a new Astro game, I'm down for it. The reviews come out, oh boy.
It's just the fact that by itself, Astrobot is an amazing game. When you look at the grand narrative of 2024, it's an amazing feat.
Yeah. Ryan, for
So,
you,
Ryan?
Astro.
So I guess I'll jump in then since Astrobot is also my number 2. Yeah, this was just an absolute joy of a time. Like, this is the most Nintendo a Sony game has ever felt, so it was right up my alley. I adore 3D platformers like this, and this is just one of those games. It's like Kirby in the Forgotten Land. You just feel good when you play it. It's just got those good vibes about it. I love all the references in it, although it does also make me a little sad that it makes me think, oh, PlayStation used to have all this, but now it's just but stay positive. Like, it's a visually fantastic game. Like, it's like it doesn't go for the overly realistic style a lot of PlayStation games go for now, but it still takes advantage of what the PS5 can do. And speaking of that, I want to give this game and Team Asobi a lot of credit for being like one of the only studios to actually make use of all the DualSense's bells and whistles, because they go so underutilized for like 90% of games, but they actually make use of them.
It definitely does feel Nintendo like in that. And I guess to be fair on Nintendo's aspect, that is kind of a lot of the games. Like they find the one or two gimmicks that the console people like and then disregard the rest of them.
If there's one more thing that I think I can add to Astrobot that hasn't actually been said yet, I cannot emphasize how tight Astrobot controls.
Oh yeah, no, he feels fantastic on
it. Yeah, he feels so good to control, moving around, jumping, sliding, doing everything. I always felt like I was in control.
It makes the speed run level so much damn fun.
Oh yeah. Oh yes, very much so. Yeah, the control is damn near perfect in this game, and the fact that it got so much acknowledgement and the fact that it actually did manage to win Game of the Year on the big stage, I think was just so awesome to see. And even though it's not lighting the sales charts on fire like a bunch of their other big IPs, I hope this does send a message to Sony to get more variety in there and don't just go for like the massive third-person cinematic experiences they always do. Like, do more stuff like this. We want stuff like this. But yeah, that's all I have to say about that.
Right.
There's one thing that Astrobot gave me that I didn't think I won. It's a Sony. I'm just a small gamer with a big heart, big wants, and big dreams. Remember Ape Escape? That would be great.
Yeah.
Remember Ape Escape? Come on, buddy. I know you have it in your heart of hearts. Please, another Ape Escape game. It would be great. Come on.
Honestly, with the Ape Escape level in this game, I would not mind Team Asobi being given a shot at making a full-on new Ape Escape game.
Oh yeah, I think that would do a great job.
All right, Chris, you're number 2.
Okay, so I had to do some Google search while you guys were talking, because this game came out in 2013. Jesus Christ.
Oh my.
But for whatever reason, it just kind of became popular again in the last couple years, becoming a massive meme. And hopefully the sound plays because I just added it.
Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is that I made it the fuck up.
Rising Revengeance.
Rising still remains so relevant even after all this
time.
It's
so fucking good. God damn it. One of the first games I played on my Steam Deck.
Can you play that again?
Yeah.
Why don't you back it up with a source? My source is that I made it the fuck up.
I love that soundbite so much.
Everything I've seen about this game has been correct, and it's just surpassed every expectation I've had. It's once you understand the controls, it just flows immensely. Like even the parry, I didn't get it at first, but then it just clicked.
Yeah, parry takes a bit to get used to in Rising.
It does.
That, yeah.
With the power of the Zendatsu, you too can cut the environment dynamically and prevent yourself from completing the level and have to restart.
The combat is great. The story is great. The dialogue's great. The music's great. Fuck that chick with the multiple arms and her little 3-arm robots. For the rest of the game, I was
it's probably gonna be a little rough your first go around. Fuck off, Matsuda, and you're Among Us.
Blade will fuck me up because of the parrying.
Game.
Oh yeah.
Like, Blade Wolf is where you learn to parry or die.
Yeah. That was the noob trap.
You were just like me.
I just love the fact that Rising ever since 2013 has just remained in cultural osmosis that entire time.
It's funny that both of the main Raiden games just keep getting just more relevance as time goes on.
My favorite part about this game is this is one of my favorite moments involved in this game. there was this VTuber named Pomu,
Oh,
right? And at the time, she was getting into the franchise, so she streamed Rising. And when we get to the final boss of that game, her chat legitimately broke. Because when the song started playing, everyone was just started quoting the song. And her chat legitimately broke. So she just couldn't see the chat for a little bit. It was just so funny just seeing it in the vibe. Oh, everything's going by. This begins. I realize you were just like me. Just like, man. Man, the one brain cell has activated.
Shout out to this game for using memes way before anyone thought games would.
I mean, just like it's funny how much of it's both Metal Gear Solid 2 and this game that it's like it uses the original actual definition of memes and it just stays relevant the further into our society that we get.
It's still the only Metal Gear I've beaten.
Still the only Metal Gear I've played.
Yeah.
Yo, you should play Metal Gear Solid 2 if you like.
I have it on my wish list. I have 3 in my library.
Side note, isn't the collection actually out that has 1, 2, and 3 in it?
Yeah, on Steam it's still out.
Yes.
Okay, all right. That came out this year, right?
I
believe so.
I think this year? Yeah.
Yeah, so Chris, at some point, just pick up that collection.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I got was number 3. I think that's part of the collection.
All right.
Or maybe those are just standalone titles.
Okay, so Mr. Terry, you're number 2.
Okay, hold on. I gotta reach up real quick so I can get up here, and I gotta press this real quick. Hey guys, the Sonic X Shadow Generation.
I knew it. I was like, there's
We
one
only
person.
have 2 entries left. I'm like, I know his number 1, then I know what his number 2 is.
There's only one person left here at the top about Shadow.
You must take back Kingdom Valley.
I did take back Kingdom Valley already. I'm getting to that.
He took back his kingdom.
Oh boy.
So I think everybody here has already gushed about Shadow Generations. I'll gush a little bit. I love every single level in this game, no matter if it's 2D or 3D. I genuinely do not have a single major problem with how the game is structured or how the game plays. It feels perfect to me. I think the only thing I have to be kind of nitpicky about is I wish you could put markers and stuff on the map and you could zoom in and zoom out a little bit more effectively. That's really nitpicky. And the game also came with a remaster of my favorite Sonic game of all time. And unlike the rest of the uncultured fucks in this call, I didn't miss a beat. Aside from you.
Hey, uncultured swine is what I go by. Okay.
Use the full name that my father gave me.
Well, I didn't miss a beat when going back to base Sonic Generations. Everybody in this call knows I grind Sonic Generations out 5 times a year before this game came out.
Just talk about it. Talk about the war.
I have played Shadow Generations maybe so many fucking times in the last couple of months. I have not touched Sonic Generations in this collection since I did the review, and that was 2-3 weeks ago. And I think that the biggest thing that I've really enjoyed about Shadow Generation so far is the fucking rank system. With the online. Warbot and I have been in a feud for a month and a half, taking back and dealing out records back and forth constantly. In fact, I guarantee you, if I look over in the other chat, okay, no, he's playing something else. I thought for a second he was grinding out Generations, but this is slowly becoming my favorite Sonic game to speed through because of the spear gliding and how chaos control works and using the Doom powers. It all culminates together in such a fulfilling and just fun experience. And that was That's my biggest thing. When I play a Sonic game, I just want to go fast and I want to have fun. And Shadow Generations fucking delivers and then some. I think I speak for everybody in this call when I say I am very excited for what Sonic Team is going to be cooking up next.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
And, like, that's so refreshing to say. You know, like I'm actually excited for something Sonic Team's going to be doing, you know?
I don't burn this newfound optimism. I swear to God,
Yeah,
Sonic.
You know what?
Just,
At
look,
this point,
you guys have one job. Do not fuck it up. Do not fuck it up.
At this point, I feel like spur gliding in Shadow Generations was an accident that they left in on purpose.
Oh, I guarantee you it was. Also, spear gliding is a much better name than the fucking Chaos Gritty. I don't know who came up with that, but they need to be
I remember feeling like in Shadow Generations that like Chaos Spear was probably the ability I was not looking forward to the most because I felt like, okay, it's just gonna be an extra button. And then I saw the shit that spear gliding did. I was like, okay, you know what, Spear? Chaos Spear, you were your existence at this point.
It's still also a really good tool for like if you're not going for spear gliding, I still think it's a really good tool for like taking out incoming projectiles and taking care of like enemy defenses. But spear gliding is like, oh, the pioneers used to spear glide for miles.
Used to go across the kingdom for miles.
By the way, that one black dude better be, what is my purpose? You get kicked.
Oh my
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
The poor Black Doom soldiers get so fucked up in that game.
They become the jobber of jobbers of all time.
Yeah. So I don't know if I was the only one that did this. But before you guys got Doom Kick, did you guys find the first Black Doom?
Yes.
Like Black Arm Soldier and just homing attack it over and over trying to kill it.
Yeah.
I definitely hit it a few times.
I don't remember.
I legit did that for like 5 minutes because like, why won't you die?
I think it's funnier to kick him into the air and then just leave him there.
Yeah. Or he falls back down and then just dissipates into a pile of green bush.
Now fall.
I was like, man, how fragile are you? Even from that high, you still die. And you fall so slowly too. It's like,
man, we made out a weak sauce. I don't know.
Roxas in chat, the Chaos Gritty.
No, let's kill that name right now.
How did we take over the planet with this week? I don't understand.
I will give a little notice to what JoJo put in current stream because it's got a lot out of me.
Oh boy.
It's in our no mic onto that current stream for you guys.
Oh boy.
Damn, everyone's been showing my new game. But yeah, I think like the last thing I can say for Shadow Generations, it is. You know what? No, it is my new favorite Sonic game now. It's not becoming my new favorite Sonic game. It is my new favorite Sonic game. Yeah. After like 13 years, Generations has finally been dethroned.
There's only one. Man, who knew that all it took was to beat the GOAT? Was the GOAT again?
Sonic Generations is dead. All hail Shadow Generations.
It is definitely my favorite boost. I think it's gonna take a while for something to beat Mania for me onto that.
I'm so goated with the goated with the sauce. My only competition is me.
Don't trust anyone, not even yourself.
Not even yourself. Yeah, Sonic Generations is the guy in the mirror pointing at himself, and it's Shadow Generations on the other side.
Sonic Shadow Generations on the other side. Alright, but okay, Travis, you're number 2.
So I knew what my top 2 were as of I don't know, like a month ago at this point. And the question for a bit was what order they would be. But I now know the order. And as for number 2, hey Ryan, you know how you mentioned Atlas?
You know, I am?
Yeah, so my number 2 isn't Persona 3 Reload. No, my number 2 is what they were fucking cooking. Holy shit, Metaphor Refantasio is insane.
Thank God someone else finally mentioned this game. Thank God.
I have this
So
game now.
Like, legit, as the releases went up, I was like, this is probably going to be my game of the year. Me playing the game, this is going to be my game of the year. Me as of a month ago, it is not my number 2. We'll get to that. But, oh my god, just take mechanics from all sorts of different Atlas games, mesh them together into a beautiful cocktail, and tell an absolutely goated story. Like, there's a reason that game won Best Narrative.
Yes.
And like, god. Also, the Esperanto makes for a great OST. But like, I on the narrative side of things, I do not want to say too much. Play the fucking game. Just play the game.
I own it.
Yeah. But like, as for the gameplay side of things, having a sort of action game thing to build up, being able to ambush enemies makes it so satisfying to get the ambushes off, and also makes it absolute hell when the enemy hits you with super armor.
Oh, no.
That will happen a few times, trust me. But yeah, like, I'm only missing like a few achievements, I think, but after my first run, but it's so good. Play the game, play the fucking game. I don't know what else to say.
All right. Well, now at this point, before we get to our number ones, it is that time again. So we're gonna get to our honorable mentions and our dishonorable mentions at this point.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy!
So, sorry, did anybody have something to say before I go off?
Oh no, I was just gonna say, oh boy, time for the shit.
Okay, so for my honorable mention, I'm going to give it to Hades 2. Hades 2.
Yeah.
Isn't that not even fully out?
No, it's currently in its beta, which is the main reason why it is in my honorable mention onto that for it. The game is still absolutely great. The roguelike nature and theory crafting of what can I do this run? What can I improve on? And addicting, okay, one more try. One more try. It is back in full force. We are so fucking back.
I cannot wait for when that
I still have yet to actually complete a run. I have gotten to the final boss onto it. I didn't get to play as much as I wanted to, and man, I really wanted to play more. I think my only complaint right now is that I think bosses are a little too tanky for their own good. They are kind of damage sponges compared to the first game onto that. So I think right now I still prefer Hades 1 right now, but I think Hades 2 has got a lot of potential, and when it officially comes out with a 1.0 version, then it will probably be on my top 5 for realsies at that point.
Hey, look, 2 pies.
Hey, look, 2 cakes, wow.
Real quick, Pat, on the boss health thing, given I did recently do some runs, either they nerfed boss health or buffed damage a bit. I'm not sure which, because bosses don't feel like they take as long now.
Okay, then I'll have to head back at that point and try it out.
As
for my dishonorable mention, I think, chat, you know it onto it because we did play it, and unfortunately, it's a game you guys have had on your favorite side onto that.
No!
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
God damn it!
Yeah, I saw that coming.
Yeah, okay. I think the best way to describe this for me is, you know, when you had a franchise and stuff like that you've been away from it for a while, or you've kind of seen it in passing, and you feel like you have a lot of worries or stuff like that on heading back in, that you kind of feel like it's gonna be this kind of thing, and you're not really jiving with that. And then you play it, and every one of those fears feels like it all got true, and it just kind of feels you kind of feel any excitement sucking out of you. That's what it felt like for me playing Scarlet and Violet. Every fear I had about what Pokemon had been for a very long time felt like it all got confirmed by that game for me. I just do not care for the game structure onto it. It really does feel like epitome of just open world for the sake of it, because the game structure does not clearly want you to really explore it. It still wants to put you onto a path, so I just feel like it doesn't really go anywhere onto that. The world itself is not interesting to explore onto that because of how just bland the entire environment is onto it. I feel like Terrarize could be an interesting mechanic in multiplayer onto it, but I feel like the actual main campaign never goes anywhere beyond basics with it onto it. Once you realize the pattern, it's just going to be that the entire time onto it. And honestly, the story I just find is okay. The best I can say is that it's very backloaded onto it, and there are a few things I like, but I just was not getting into it the entire time onto it. I feel like as a base structure, I just didn't really enjoy the game. And then on top of that, there's the unpolished fucking mess that the games are on top of it. That is straight up unacceptable in that condition onto it. I am so baffled how it was able to release onto that. And honestly, for me, I just was so done by the end of the playthrough onto it. Unless there is, I feel like I'll check out Legends games still onto that because I think that has a much better structure going forward. I think at this point, unless there is a drastic, and I mean drastic change in how Pokemon's mainline is structured and like actually going forward and doing something radically different, not just trying to change up its formula a little bit, I think I'm just done with Pokemon at this point onto it for main series. I just feel no incentive to go by it, and especially the RPG's landscape is getting so good right now. We are in so many grand RPGs about Renaissance. I just feel no desire to go to Pokemon at this point. I just feel like it is not worth my time anymore onto that. So
you should get the Pokemon mod. Pokemon too many types.
Yeah, I was.
No.
Yeah. I know you mentioned it, and I saw Brandon also mentioned it in chat. I would give Legends a shot, Pat. I think
I love RC. I love RCS onto.
Okay.
I just want to see them do more. But for mainline Pokemon, this ain't it, Chief, on that.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who likes Violet and was there watching you play Violet, I get where you're coming from.
Yep.
The biggest thing, like you said, they need to step up their game because so many other RPGs are getting mainstream and so much better. Pokemon is not the end all be all anymore.
Look at the last 3 slots in my top 5.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was mine. So next up in line, Ace, honorable and dishonorables.
Honorable mention. This was going to be the emergency. This was going to be the original emergency number 5, Fortnite Chapter 5. It is with friends. It is the most genuinely fun I've ever had with with one of these kinds of games. Dishonorable mention. Also Fortnite Chapter 5. All my friends disappeared halfway through.
Alright. Jason, your honorable, dishonorable.
Outside of a joke, I don't really have a dishonorable because my top 5 was like the only 5 games that I played this
Fair enough.
year.
All right, so what was your honorable?
It's like the only honorable mention that I could give is like it's a video game adaptation, video game adjacent, but I'm just throwing it out there. Sonic the Hedgehog 3.
Bro, I would put Sonic 3 on my list if I could.
It's a movie, but it's also a video game. It's also a video game.
Look forward to our podcast probably next week at this point.
Tomorrow is when I finally see it.
Let's go!
Honorable mention to Sonic 3. I saw it again today, and man,
shit's fire.
It's good, man. So good, it's still good, man.
Yeah.
Yo, look at the chat. Look at Sonic and Shadow dabbing each other up. Yo, bro, Sonic 3? Yo, bro. Yo, cheers.
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 Sonic 3? Yo, my God.
Cheers.
But yeah, that's all I got.
All right,
My
Chris.
joke dishonorable would have been Concord because look at it.
Where is it?
Exactly.
Where are the video games?
Video games.
Sony has no games.
Alright,
yeah.
wait,
Chris.
do I do honorable first or dishonorable?
Honorable first, dishonorable after that.
Alright. Honorable mention is only honorable mention because I can't put it as number 1 because it's the noise update for Pizza Tower. Let's go! It's like, okay, way back when Shovel Knight was still getting content, when we got the Plague of Shadows, we got the King of Cards, we got the one for Plague Knight. I can't think of what it was called.
Plague of Shadows.
Okay, and then Spectre of Torment, that's the one I didn't say. Yeah. All of those were amazing, and this just feels like that. It's all the same shit, but just a different character with a brand new moveset to learn and master. It feels so good.
Except he has one additional thing for one level. The bucket.
The bucket. And then my dishonorable mention, I feel like I'm gonna get some flack for this. I didn't care for Penny's Big Breakaway.
Oh,
I need to play more of it.
I need to actually play it to get an opinion for myself.
I played through all of the first 3 worlds, all the way through those bosses, and I just can't care. Like, I genuinely can't get into it.
Yeah, I'm not even going to entirely disagree with you. Like, I thought it was decent, but I definitely didn't think it was as good as I was hoping it to be.
Yeah, that's the problem, though. It got way overhyped because it's the Mania team.
Yeah.
It just doesn't feel good to control. The music's fine, as always, but I don't care.
The momentum is just really awkward in that game.
Right.
And this is coming from someone who applauded the controls for Pizza Tower when it first came out. Like, it's hard to get into, but then it clicks. Penny did not click for me at all.
Fair enough. All right, Ryan.
Okay, so Pat allowed me 3, so I'm just gonna rapid fire 3 for each of these. So I wanted to give I like to save honorable mentions for games that I feel don't get like enough credit throughout the year. So I wanted to give 3 shout outs, especially to Emio the Smiling Man, Eiyuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, and Bakiru. I feel like all 3 of those were very underappreciated. Emio had a fantastic story to it, and I really hope Nintendo does more with the series. It could be a great addition to their lineup. Eiyuden Chronicle, I was looking forward to that for a long time. Really, really fun successor to Suikoden, which is awesome that Konami's actually bringing Suikoden back in some form now. Just amazing pixel art and just really cool to see that project finally come to fruition after being kickstarted like nearly 5 years ago. And Bakeru, really under the radar, really fun 3D platformer. If any of you follow Nintendo on Twitter or Blue Sky, you may have seen him talk about it. It's made by it's made by Goodfeel, the people who did like Kirby's Epic Yarn and Yoshi Woolly World. Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
You got my interest with that.
Yeah, it's really good. It's basically the spiritual successor to Legend of the Mystical Ninja. And like, it's honestly just it's a lot of fun. Like, it's got a real good flow to it. It's very cartoony and creative, and it even has giant mech battles for boss fights. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, and so I just wanted to give those 3 a shout out. And for 3 rapid fire dishonorable mentions, Concord, Skull and Bones, and Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, aka fuck you live services, go away. It's just Western game industry. Western game industry, stop trying to make live services a thing. It's not gonna work. You are not going to be Fortnite. Stop it.
So yeah, I do want to shout out MEO. Of it was like the game of, man, that is like number 1 on my list that I am going to be playing as soon as I can for next year onto it, because I really enjoyed Famicom Detective Club before, and everybody has been like raving like, you gotta. This is like a top tier as fuck visual novel. That game unfortunately was never going to be nominated for best narrative at the Game Awards, but God, did it deserve it!
Like, I've yet to play the game, but one of my friends, who's a major visual novel nut, who's also a reviewer at Noisy Pixel, they're the one that gave the game a 10 at Noisy Pixel.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. Tevi.
Okay, I'm gonna rapid fire my honorable mentions real quick because I got a couple. Echoes of Wisdom. Good 2D Zelda. I still have to finish it on top of like the 50 other fucking things I'm playing right now. Astrobot. It didn't click with me the same way that it did everybody else, but I will still acknowledge it is a. Yeah, thank you. It is still a fantastic 3D platformer, but it just didn't really meet my top 5. Super Mario Party Jamboree, I'm fucking 0-7, but that game's still really fun. Marvel Rivals. Marvel Rivals, I'm really glad that I was finally able to get into this this style of game. Thank you,
Hero
Jason.
Shooter. Yeah.
Hero shooter. Yeah. And then for my last honorable mention, the Marvel vs. Capcom collection.
Woo!
Because that was this was my chance to finally play like most of these Marvel vs. Capcom games. My favorite so far is 2. I love these games, and they indeed took me for a ride. Now for the dishonorable mention.
No!
Got the cold one.
Oh,
God's sake. I'm gonna fucking take that thing out. Okay. My dishonorable mention is Mortal Kombat 1 Chaos Reigns. I have never played a more nothing burger of a story mode for a fighting game in my life. Literally, it felt like the only reason they did this expansion to begin with was, hey, we needed to introduce Cyrax Sector and Noob Saibot. Literally, that's it. Titan Havoc is the biggest pushover I've ever seen. When you can get fucking taken down with all 6 Kamidogu stapled to your fucking nipples by Noob Saibot, who
the biggest chopper in the universe,
who by the way is beyond the biggest chopper in the history of the franchise, you know you're a shitty villain. And okay, I'm not saying that it was completely irredeemable. There were a couple of bits that I did genuinely enjoy. They introduce because obviously it's on the multiverse thing. But there was a version of Rain and Tanya that were like a husband and wife, king and queen in one reality, and their universe got taken over by Titan Havoc. I did like their dynamic. I did like their story. I liked having those characters around. There was no reason to have a random World War II version of Johnny Cage in there. No reason.
What?
Yeah, no fucking reason. And it's just there's no reason that this expansion should be $50.
Yeah,
and I know that it didn't come out this year, but I also want to loop in Mortal Kombat 1 as a game. And not because the actual gameplay itself
because I feel
bad.
like you had it on your favorite list last year.
It was my number 5. I think it was like my number 5 or my number 4 last year. I think it might have been my number 5.
What happened with that game? People hated it.
I love Mortal Kombat. I had fun with Mortal Kombat 1, but WB has driven this fucking game into the goddamn gutter. And it just makes me so disappointed. The microtransactions are as bad as they've ever been. Content is just severely dry. What the fuck are these guest characters? Like, Ghostface is cool, but do we really need another Terminator and fucking Conan the Barbarian? Do we need... really? Do we? And now there's the possibility of the game getting... Like, the game is possibly canceled, so that means no more DLC, even though they promised that, hey, we're gonna do, 3 more years of content. That's out of the fucking window. And all because Suicide Squad didn't meet expectations for sales. So WB was like, okay, you have to come out now. And because of that, Mortal Kombat 1 just was not able to hit the ground running. And unfortunately, it is probably overall the worst game that NetherRealm has put out since they formed. And I hate saying that because mechanically, I love the game more than Mortal Kombat 11. You guys know how I am. I did not like Mortal Kombat 11 at all, but it had more for the single player to do. it was not nearly this fucking repetitive. And yeah, the microtransactions were kind of bad, but they were not this bad. At least you could go onto the PlayStation Store and buy the skins. You have to buy the skins in MK1 through the in-game shop, and it's on a fucking Fortnite shop rotation, which is the dumbest fucking shit. Because Activision pulled this shit with CTR Nitro Field in 2020, and I hated it then, I hate it now. Fuck you, WB. Just genuinely, fuck you.
Real.
Western game industry.
Tell me how
moment.
you really feel.
I'm ready for Mortal Kombat 12.
Yep. All right, and then Triforce.
Okay, so I'm just gonna rapid fire my 3 honorable mentions. I'm gonna say this now. I don't really have a dishonorable. I didn't really play any games this year that I would put as a dishonorable mention.
All right.
But my 3 honorable mentions. First off, Tales of Arise.
Yo, that's what I'm at right now.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, everything Pat said about the game. Yeah, no, it's really damn good, and I'm glad it's the second Tales game I've now beaten. The first one was Vesperia. But second up in the list, Slay the Princess.
Ooh.
So this is a game I had heard about, I think around when Markiplier Let's Play it, because I heard people talk about him stopping it just so people would play it themselves. Like, okay, I don't play lots of horror. Let's try this out. Oh my god. And I played it before the pristine cut update, so I still need to check all that new stuff out. But yeah, no, play Slay the Princess. That's all I'm gonna say about that game. But third up, hold on, where's the soundbite? Where's the soundbite? Which one would it be? I don't know which one the bell is. Shadowbringers. I've not finished Shadowbringers yet. I'm in the patch content of it. Oh my god, this is my favorite expansion so far. And I'm not done with it yet. So yeah, those are my 3 honorable mentions.
Awesome. All right. And now for the big one. Everybody's number one.
Preparing the Krabby Patty.
All right. Hey, Jason.
Hey, Pat, how you doing?
Hey, I'm doing great. How about you?
I'm doing pretty good.
Our lists tend to be kind of similar on that, you know. Yeah, I think a few years ago, what was it? Tales of Rise was our number one that we had on.
Yeah, I'm a Tales of Rise. Go to game. Go to game.
To that. So, Dad, I'm a little struggling here. If you could help me out, I don't know what our number one is.
Oh my god! Can you guys just start sucking off?
Oh my god! Please stop the foreplay.
What could it possibly be?
I don't. Oh no!
Oh no! Oh
dear! Not again!
Oh no!
Not again! Wait! It's fine.
It's coming this way.
Wait! No! Pat! It's fine. Okay. Think it's going away.
Okay.
Think it's going. Oh, come on! Come on! Everyone here knew this was coming!
We have made it no secret what our number one is. The critically acclaimed Final Fantasy 14. This was the year. I played 14 before ARR, it didn't really click with me too much, and then, this man to my right here, Mr. Ace, makes me buy a taunter.
Hello, this is the final consequences of my own actions.
And he got me back into 14, and it clicked. Oh my god, it clicked onto it. I started restarting my journey pretty much right back in Heaven's Ward. Onto that, like in February or something like that. I am current. I played through all of Heaven's Ward, Stormblood, Shadowbringers, Endwalker, and Dawn Trail. 5 expansions in 1 year onto it. That is how much 14 just came and consumed my life at that point onto it.
Like, I'm not. I'm just I'm one expansion behind Pat. Because my goal is to get to Dawn Trail and be finished with Dawn Trail before February comes. Because Monster Hunter comes out in February, I want to dedicate a lot of my time to that. Yeah, 14 just came and also dominated my gaming life. Because I got through ARR, I got through Heaven's Word a while ago, and then after I got to the Alexander raids and got to forward and back, that was my main mission to reach at the time. And then I put 14 down for a while, and then Pat and some other people were getting back into 14 on this server, so I just decided I picked back up 14 as well. Oh my god.
When people say 14 gets good, holy shit, that's underselling it onto that.
When it comes to me in Final Fantasy as a franchise, I don't think I would call myself necessarily a fan of Final Fantasy, because I played 1, I have played 2. I've seen a playthrough of Final Fantasy 6 like 10 times. Instead of playing it myself, I just watch other people play it. For some reason, I tried 4, couldn't really get into 4. I played 7, and I played 9. And you would think with all the other Final Fantasy games in my belt, you would be like, oh, Jason, you must like Final Fantasy, right? And I don't know what it is about Final Fantasy. Maybe it's his setting, maybe it's his writing. I don't know what I could never tell you what it is. But there's something about Final Fantasy that if we go, it's okay. Then this, but 14 though. 14, whatever 14 has, it's like, no, oh yeah, this is it. Right? It's somewhere to say, my least favorite part of 14 is all the parts where it feels like Final Fantasy.
I think the biggest thing is that 14 is such a masterclass at setting up details of all these little things that the writers are able to just pull back in later on whenever they need to. And it makes for some of the best payoff storytelling I have ever experienced in any medium onto it. When they pull out something, like, you could be in fucking Endwalker, and they will pull shit out from ARR onto it, and it feels like the biggest long con of all time.
You can be in post Endwalker, and they will pull something from 1.0 out of their ass.
But I think it's just that of there is so much to do in the game, whether it's dungeons, raiding, crafting, gold saucer, forming a guild, doing a bunch of silly little mini games are out there. There is something always to do in 14 that I'm on it every day onto it at this point. Like, there's always something to do.
There is too much content in 14.
Our joke constantly throughout this year, I'm sorry I can't play the video game. I'm too busy playing the video game.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no time to myself anymore because my stupid brain wants to be with friends on 14 because this is the consequences of my own action.
Like, and I feel like every expansion, like, honestly, like, okay, if you're gonna be really technical, if I'm gonna pick one expansion onto here, it's gonna be Shadowbringers onto it. But really, this is the entirety of 14 onto it, because every single expansion has some. But every single expansion has something that really makes it something special. Heavensward is like clearly when the team found their footing, and I think has some of the best well-rounded content in the game. Stormblood is easily when the gameplay takes a massive leap forward in terms of dungeons, raiding, all of that. I'll get to Shadowbringers in a bit onto that. Endwalker has some of the highest highs of storytelling in the entirety of 14, and if you played the game, you know that's saying a lot onto that. And Dawn Trail might honestly be the second best gameplay in the entire expansion. And honestly, if it keeps on the rate that's going, probably the best single raid series for both regular raid and alliance raid onto that.
Yeah. Yeah, on that note, like I've been in the calls while you guys have done Dawn Trail raids without, saying outright spoilers, obviously. But so I've just been here in post Shadowbringers going, man, I cannot wait to get to the Dawn Trail stuff.
Yeah, but fucking Shadowbringers.
Okay, hang on. Let me lay it out for you like this. ARR at its best moments, I would say it's all right. Heaven's Word is good to very good. Stormblood, I would categorize as great. Now you would think Shadowbringers would leap up and say awesome. Shadowbringers just went, no, we're not awesome. We are goated. This is the goated expansion of the whole game, and that sounds like, come on, you're overblowing it. I know you two enjoy Shadowbringers, but can Shadowbringers really be that? Yes.
Everyone that has any doubts about Shadowbringers shuts the fuck up as soon as they actually experience Shadowbringers.
Shadowbringers has the best villain. Not straight up in Final Fantasy. I would just straight up say it has the best villain in any of Square Enix's tenure.
I honestly agree on that.
Yeah.
That it's got easily the best dungeon lineup of any expansion. The first fucking dungeon might be the best dungeon in all of 14.
I have played the first dungeon of Shadowbringers so many times, not because I needed to level up.
It's just
it's a fun dungeon. At one point, I got done with that dungeon, and then we just a day where I just kept playing that dungeon again and again.
Even onto stuff like, it's got a great raid series onto stuff. The world building in Shadowbringers is fucking unreal.
My God.
Of how fast they hit the ground running and how everything lines up to what it keeps doing into, honestly, two of the greatest finales I have ever experienced in my gaming life. Onto that. Yes, two. There are two endings of this because of that shit. Yes. And I can just say straight up, Shadowbringers is my favorite RPG. Not of a genre, not of like a tech era. No. Best RPG I have ever played in my entire life. I can say that with full confidence onto that. Onto it. And frankly, nothing's come close onto that. 14, Shadowbringers alone would be in top 5. The entirety of 14 is now top 3 at bare minimum for favorite games of all time. At this point.
I don't know if I had to honestly rank my favorite games of all time, I don't know where it would land, but it's definitely on favorite games of my list of favorite games of all time. 14 has definitely earned a spot up there. I'm still not done.
There's still more for you to go.
Quite frankly, I think with the amount of content in 14, I don't think I'll ever. Well, to be fair, it's an MMO. You're never really done with it.
I think it really said something when both you and me were going through Shadowbringers patch content. We were both just going with how well everything ties up into that. We're all just like, what the fuck is Endwalker?
Because at one point we go into the 4th patch, and I'm just like, okay, no, but seriously, what is Endwalker?
Guys, that's my current thought process, and I just started the patch content.
I know this all sounds like hyperbole onto it, but I cannot stress it enough. The fact that I was able to play one game the entire year and not get sick of it at all, I think is a testament to how much 14 is able to constantly surpass and build its expectations in that cycle over and over, and why I want to bring everyone I possibly can onto this journey and watch them go through it.
There's only one downside to 14.
It's the time.
And also, and
investment.
Shadowbreaker. It is the time investment. It's the same issue of getting into One Piece. Because, like, or like any long running thing. Because if you are rewarded if you put in the time, but you also have to put in the time.
That's precisely why I don't think I'm ever going to play it. It's
because
just,
yeah, go on. Because
it's
like,
sorry, go ahead.
Because in order to get to like the really, really, really good parts of the game, you have to get through the beginning. Yeah. The beginning can be a slog. Can be a slog. It gets better at Heaven's Word. It does get better.
We cannot stress how much better the game gets at Heaven's Word.
But even when you make it to Heaven's Word, the time it takes for you between Heaven's Word to Shadowbringers is still a long time. Even if all you're doing for some reason is the MSQ. That's still a lot of video game.
It is definitely the biggest thing, and it's the biggest hurdle onto the game. And I understand why people, if you do not have the time for it, that you cannot experience it. That's why I highly recommend you bring a friend group along with you, because, like, especially if you have, and it's so true, if you have any friend out there that is, anybody that's into 14 and you mention that you're playing, they are all gonna hop to you immediately and help you out onto it. It's practically a giant meme in 14 that as soon as you log in, you just get showered with people helping you because they want you to enjoy the game at that point.
They want people to like the game.
And like another boot to 14. I remember Yoshi P said this in an interview, and it is so true because this man gets it. There's a lot of stuff to do in 14. MMOs are like MMOs, the original live service game of the video game industry. And Yoshi P also understands, people have other things they want to do. They have other games that they want to play. So you know what? We're not going to dangle the jingly keys in front of you. We're not going to make you. We're not going to do the whole thing. We're just like, you don't get this. You're going to be missing out. Come on, you know you want. Come on, you know you. Come on, you know you want it. Because like 14, because you can put down 14 for a while, and you can also just pick it. You can also pick it back up, and you feel like you honestly missed nothing. Yeah, sure. You may have missed some events that were going on in the game, but the game never puts the jiggly keys. It's like, oh man, you missed this. I can't believe you missed this. Oh man, I can't believe you know what I'm talking about. You know, like if you play a modern live service game, they all do it. I like Fortnite. Fortnite does it all. Fortnite does it all the time. And you don't log into the game at this specific moment. Ooh, you're gonna miss Master Chief. Ooh, you're gonna miss it. You're going just like you're gonna miss it because it's never going to be in the shop again. 14 doesn't do that to you, and I am so glad
14 respects the fact, and the devs have even said like they don't care if you don't log in every day. It's get what you want from the game. Come back when you're ready for more. Onto
14 respects your time. However much or little time you put into it, it still respects it.
Yeah.
So much so that they patched out certain padding quests from expansions.
Yeah.
Especially
to be honest,
ARR.
I think they could do even more to get people through ARR faster onto that, but like I feel like we got on this enough. I feel like we could just do an entire fucking podcast on 14.
Just like one more thing, just to add on to my point. Tabby, he's like the biggest thing. Tabby was like going through the game story. Hey, Tabby, have you felt like you missed out on anything as you've been playing 14? He could also not be here. And he could also just leave you.
I think you guys are going for so long.
I think you've been going for so long that
oh no, we've been talking about 14 for so
damn it happened again.
It happened.
I guarantee you it's going to happen again next year.
Maybe.
All right, Tabby. All right, Tabby, question. All right, Tabby. Like, have you felt like you messed out on anything in 14 so far? Like at all?
Not really.
Yeah, exactly. That's my point.
14 respect your time. I keep saying saying it to wrap up, like, there's a reason everybody that plays 14 loves the shit out of it onto it and keeps trying to convince people to play the game onto it. If you have any inclination to try and play the game yourself, again, the free trial is right there. You play up through Stormblood. That's well over 600 hours of content.
Oh, yeah.
Pat, imagine the day when Shadowbringers is in the free trial.
Where's a day where you guys get to play Shadowbringers for free?
That is going to be the fucking day.
But, like, just download that trial. Tell me what server you're on. I'm willing to throw in a hand and help you out. Get started onto that, because I want people to experience the highs that 14 has given me. It's some of the biggest highs I have ever experienced of a game in my life onto that. And I can't wait to see other people go through the same journey that I have this year. And truly was one of my favorite experiences I have ever had. So thank you, Ace. You caused all of that.
This is your fault. This is your fault.
You did this to me.
I blame you for everything. And also, thank you.
And speaking of Ace, I believe it is now his turn.
Yes.
All right, now, excuse me, I disappeared to the background.
As it approaches midnight.
And now time for me to sneak into the background again and continue playing 14. Yes, I've been doing that the entire time.
Look, in the background, I've been labbing a Shadow the Hedgehog cosplay in front of Jason.
It's true, he has.
Just trying to figure out what to get it to work. I think I like this outfit. I think this works pretty well.
So it needs a jacket, anyway.
But yeah. You're done.
Alright, so we are once again back to like 3 years ago, where 2 games were fighting for the top spot, and in that year, Endwalker won. This year, the second place prize came back for revenge. It came back for vengeance, one might say.
Oh.
Because number 1 is Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance.
Hey.
Back for revenge! So, yeah, this is what I wanted from SMT5. Like, SMT5 was already the most tightly tuned RPG in the series. It was just lacking in one thing: story. Vengeance knocks it out of the park. The new Vengeance campaign takes everything that didn't work in the original story and just runs wild. It introduces a new zone. It also tweaks the battle system even further by adding in new passive abilities for every demon in the game. Every single one. Just like, yeah. And I've seen some complete crackhead strategies with that. So that's already a good sign. But the new Vengeance campaign, it does several things. One, it lets characters that didn't get much time to shine in the original campaign actually get to do things. Tao, Yuzuru, Dazai, they all get time to shine. Hey, Tao getting upgraded to full law hero status. And then you have the new character, Yoko, who might be one of the best Chaos reps in the series. And I went the Chaos route, and oh boy, there's some wild shit that happens. And not just on the Chaos route, but like just in the late game in general. Well, Zone 3 is probably some of the best the game has to offer. They also brought back Magote Mastema, who is one of the best angels in the series, and he does not skip a beat. But yeah, it's peak SMT. It's what I wanted. It's all I wanted, and it managed to come in and steal the top spot from 14 with a vengeance.
And I'm still working on the vanilla route.
Like, as somebody that really enjoyed SMT5, it definitely was, the story was kind of the one big weakness to it. That makes me really excited, because honestly, SMT5 is some of the best turn-based RPG combat I've ever experienced onto that. So I am really excited to hop into Vengeance whenever I have the chance onto. So yeah. All right. So I believe next would be Chris. Your number one.
All right,
I wonder what he's gonna say.
I can't say Pizza Tower. That was last year.
Yeah, say that. It's case
So-
again.
Yeah, so real, so real.
Wow.
Anyways,
So real,
Okay,
bestie.
so back at around 2019, 2020, I found this little Game Boy Advance game. A lot of people really enjoy it. It's Wario's #1 greatest achievement. And
Sonic
I
Advance
didn't
3.
I didn't really get into it at first. But then 2023 came around, and this cool-ass game called Pizza Tower came out. After Pizza Tower came out, I went back, I figured out Wario Land 4 is actually really fucking good. And then Anton Blast came out in November.
there it is.
And in comes a steel chair!
It's unwieldy in all the best ways possible. Like, you feel the sense of speed. You know exactly what you did wrong if you press the wrong button. None of your mistakes feel like the game's mistakes. Everything you've done wrong is your own damn fault. Plus, I played through the original demo and I didn't understand any of the mechanics. I didn't get it at all. But then the game came out. I don't know if they changed something or if they just like tweaked some shit. It feels amazing now. I've already finished the game. I've already gotten all of Annie's collectibles. I'm working on finding the other secrets and shit right now. This is easily I'm Wario Land 4 pilled now. I wish I had backed Pizza Tower and Anton Blast, because these are genuinely great games.
Man, that was so much shorter than our conversation.
I wonder why.
I am not a words person.
Yeah, sorry about that. I
But
had to
you're
go look
speaking
up.
words
I had
right
to
now.
go look at my dog real quick. To that, I apologize.
You're fine.
Give Wario butt scritches.
All right. So, Ryan, you're number one.
You can talk about your 7 rebirths. You can talk about your SMT5 vengeances. You can talk about your FF14s till the cows come home. But the best freaking RPG of this year, and it is criminal against life, law, and humanity that it has only been mentioned once so far up till now.
Here it is.
Metaphor Fantasio.
Hell yeah.
This game is spectacular. The writing is amazing. The characters are awesome. One of the best villains an RPG has seen in decades. The combat is amazing. The music is immaculate. It just immediately puts you into the setting and just gets you pumped up for every single moment. This party, I love this group of characters. It is like the best of all the parties of Persona without any of the bullshit that people have issues with when it comes to the characters and their dynamics in those games. They are so likable. They are so interesting. They have layers upon layers of personality. And for a long RPG, it does not waste your time. It does not feel bloated. You can go through 70 hours of this game and there is very little fat on it. It feels like everything you do matters. And there is genuinely shocking twists in this game that I did not see coming and really felt like they impacted both the characters and the world as a whole. Like, it is often called like a best of RPG when it comes to Atlas because of all the design elements wrapped up together. It takes from Persona, it takes from mainline SMT, it takes from Etrian Odyssey in multiple ways. But like just from top to bottom, I would let me put it to you this way. I was worried going into this game because I played Persona 3 Reload earlier in the year. I was like, oh, I don't know. Am I gonna be burned down from a Persona like style? Am I not gonna like this as much as 3 Reload? No. This is better than Persona 3 Reload, and I don't even have to think twice about it. Any fan of JRPGs needs to play this game. It is spectacular. Like I can go on about this forever. It's amazing.
Yeah, real quick, I want to save some details because I knew from what you were saying that this was going to be your number one. Yeah, on the character thing, Metaphor has my favorite party member awakening in any fucking Atlas game ever.
Is it a spoiler character? Because I'd love to hear
the final one. The final one.
Oh my god! Yes. Yeah, it is. Oh Jesus! And just each of the individual characters, like even like the first 3, you get Stroll, Hulkenberg, and Heisme. These 3 are so likable. I love this group so much.
Like I was not surprised at all. I was not surprised at all when in Nico's Let's Play he just immediately started simping for Stroll.
Oh my god, it's amazing, and I hope to God they make a series out of this. I don't know how they would handle a sequel because the story is pretty open and shut for this one game, but I'd love if they did like a Final Fantasy and just did like whole new stories with new casts in the same type of universe. Yes, it'd be, oh my god, like if you call it Metaphor and something different each time, like that would be just mwah.
Metaphor remake, Metaphor rebirth, Metaphor reunion.
Also, on the note of the story stuff, the way like practically everything ties into the themes. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh, the themes of this game are so damn good. And again, to talk about the villain of this game, they compare the villain of this game to Sephiroth. He is much better than Sephiroth. Infinitely better.
I mean, it doesn't take much to compare a villain to Sephiroth onto that, to be fair.
Damn.
Well, I mean, he's just such a popular archetype that people try to recreate onto that. That's just all I'm saying.
Oh yeah. But legitimately, anybody who is a fan of like turn-based RPGs, because amazing combat as well. It has the press turn system from mainline SMT, and it absolutely rules. Basically, press turn SMT with FF5's job class system. Like that's basically what you're looking at here. Like yes, seriously. Play this game. It's so good.
I cried multiple times.
Yeah, I teared up. Dude, the credits theme got me tearing up so much.
All right. Debbie, your number one.
Is this the part where I get to start talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth now?
Is this the point where because I haven't played Rebirth, I get to go take a piss break?
Oh no, not yet. Believe me, I will let you know when you need to mute, and it'll be for like 5 seconds. Okay, so yeah, my number one is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I think I think I'll just express the same things that everybody else has talked about with this game. Such a step above remake in every single way. Just the improved combat, the story. I fucking love these characters so much. Like every single character that you run into and every single character that's in your party. Never have I ever quickly fallen in love with a cast as quickly as I have with these characters. I love these little fuckers so much. And like the game looks gorgeous, and they fixed my biggest problem with remake, which was the air combat was dog shit. Now it's not dog shit. And just the mini games are great, and the world exploration is great. This game is great. It's great. I think it does have like maybe 1 or 2 times where the pacing is a little weird, and some of the stuff that they have going on in between chapters is a little bit eyebrow raising, but it's something I'm looking very much forward to. And then Ace Ryan, this is the moment where I need you to mute for like
Yes,
10
right.
seconds.
Okay, for 10 seconds, for those that have not played Rebirth, mute for 10 seconds in 3, 2, 1, now.
Holy shit, Cloud and Tifa kissed. I am so fucking happy.
There
Talk
it
about
is.
Tifa
There
again.
fucking is.
I am so fucking happy. Like I love these two little fuckers so much. I love their relationship. I love their struggles. I love how they just pick each other up and they just support each other. I love them, and I'm so glad. 27 fucking years, and they finally have an on-screen kiss, and I am so excited just to see how their relationship is shown in part 3, because we're gonna get all the stuff in Medeal, we're gonna get the live stream sequence, we're gonna get whatever they're gonna do with Under the High Wind, and boys, we're getting Knights of the Round in part 3. We're getting Knights of the Round in part 3. And so, and like, Pat has talked about this a couple of times in, like some streams that we've done and just in some conversations that we had. FF7 Rebirth feels like one of the very few games that came out this year that genuinely does feel like a true AAA experience.
It's been one of the only AAA games I can think of in the past few years that I've actually felt completely satisfied with onto it. Because usually I feel like there's been one, like, it's like I like it, I don't feel like I love it onto it. No, I loved Rebirth onto it the entire way through on that.
Yeah. And this is coming from somebody who I didn't grow up with the original Final Fantasy VII. I played platformers. I didn't play my first RPG until Paper Mario, and even then, that's a tame RPG. But remake grabbed me by the ankles. Rebirth dragged me under the water for RPGs, and I'm so ready to, because now that I have to wait for part 3, now I have to go back and I have to start playing all the other FF7 related games. So next year I'm diving up. Yeah. Next.
Are you sure?
Yes, I'm sure.
You sure you want
I'm
to do
sure.
that?
Like,
Crisis Core's fun.
Yeah, so next year I'm diving into the original 7 and I'm going to play Crisis Core. I don't know about Dirge of Cerberus. I don't really know what kind of game that is. But
It's all fancy
first video game, don't you know?
But I just I don't want to wait for part 3. I know part 2 just came out, but I just really cannot wait for part 3. And I'm completely confident that the developers are gonna knock it out of the park. So yeah, FF7 Rebirth is my game of the year. It's probably gonna be my game of the year for like another 6 months until something else comes out.
Until
okay,
next
I'm
patch
done.
14.
You see,
I can't.
he's gonna be all gangster till.
Alright. Triforce, close us out for the night. Your number
All
one.
right. So there's a certain franchise I had known about for a good chunk of years because I have friends who know their niche shit, and I've also followed fighting games which have niche shit. Some may have heard of a certain franchise known as Melty Blood, which has had a few installments in it and all that. What some may not know is that Melty Blood is actually a spin-off. A spin-off of a certain visual novel whose remake got localized this year. Yeah, my number one is Tsukihime, A Piece of Blue Glass Moon. Oh my fucking god!
Those are words you just said.
You definitely have the most niche game, I think, out of all our number one.
Oh yeah, no, like I figured I would like this game because I pre-ordered the package that comes with the art book because I figured I'd like this game because I enjoyed Melty Blood Type Lumina and all that, and the characters had my interest. I was not expecting to fall in love with the characters as much as I did. Holy shit. So what Piece of Blue Glass Moon is it's a remake of basically the first half of the story because they took the main endings and heavily expanded their roots to where it's gameplay-wise it's about as long as the original release type deal, if not longer. And I love all of the characters. Every single one of them is great in their own way. Even the protagonist. Because the protagonist has actual personality, which some people not familiar with VGNs might not realize that's a thing. But yeah, it's on Switch. I highly recommend it. And as much as I would love to gush about all the story and the way everything ties together and the themes and stuff, there's so much spoiler. Oh my god.
Yeah, it's a visual novel, so the story's literally the whole thing.
Yeah, like legit. By the time I was done, by the time I was like halfway through the first route, I was actively wanting to dub the narration, like in a YouTube videos, and I wasn't done with the first credit sequence yet. Like, because you take vampires, you take the horror that comes with that, but you also add in some fun romance with the two main heroines, and it's just like, it all combines together in such a unique and fun way. I don't know what else to say without spoiling shit. Oh my god. Play the game. Play the game. Yeah. I am not asking.
All right. That I think will close out our Game of the Years at this point. Onto a pretty good variety on this one.
Yeah.
Overall.
Kind of honestly surprised we kept it under 3 hours.
Yeah, I think this has been I think this has been the most people, and I think our shortest Game of the Year podcast.
How the fuck do we do that?
Yeah. Well, it's quite simple. Ever heard of this little video game called Shadow Generations?
Yeah, well, I think a lot of us were mindful to kind of keep it shorter so everybody could say their piece. Like, really, it was only the FF14 segment that went really long.
Yeah,
so by my calculations, next year we should bring in 20 people to keep it under an hour.
Oh god.
Everybody gets like 20 words. Not per entry, just total.
Dude, I will ace that.
Pizza Tower, good. Wait, I think I can short that board.
Pepperman update.
Pepperman update!
So, that will do it for this year. Hopefully you've all enjoyed. This won't be the last podcast of this year, though. Because, or I guess actually it will be, because the next time it will be. Okay, scratch that. The first podcast of next year is going to be next week. At that point.
Let's go.
I hope you all enjoy us. We talk about a little thing called Sonic 3 at that point.
Yeah! Oh my god, he's so goddamn cool!
Wait, I actually have that as a soundbite.
No. Yeah.
Have a good day, everyone. Bye-bye.